What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the 161 Report podcast. I'm here with Bobby. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. It's a great day to be a Yankee fan.
It is. It's great, man.
Yeah. Carlos Rodon yesterday signed. We were recording off the wall when that happened. We had a live reaction of that, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, dude, I'm hyped. I really do think that the Yankees have the best rotation in baseball. I don't think
I
it's crazy
mean,
to say.
it's not crazy, and if they don't, it's definitely top three.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, wow, what a move! Seriously,
Yeah.
I feel like Rodon was the Yankees guy, other than Judge, of course. Um, and we brought him to the Bronx 6 years. I mean, the the years has me little worried, but
But at least it's not seven. There were rumors
yeah.
about it being 7 years, and
And
that was
especially yeah, especially with Rodon being a Boris guy. That's obviously a concern, but 162 million for over 6 years gets it done. This is big for the Yankees, obviously. Still some improvements that I want to see with this team. Left field is obviously an issue now, even more than it was a little bit ago.
yeah.
But yeah, Carlos Rodon, this is pretty big.
Yeah, and like you said, the money, I don't know if we had said it on this podcast, whatever. We were thinking 7 years, probably 200 million.
Yeah.
That was all the rumors. Not even really, he's 40 away from 200 million. It really wasn't that much money. It's
No,
not bad at all. I'm thrilled with the contract.
no, I definitely agree with you. Rodon is a guy who we needed, I feel. Our pitching staff was already great last year, and then this just puts it over the top. I mean, as we mentioned before, we have Garrett Cole at the top of the rotation. Rodon slides in very nicely at that number two spot. Interchangeable, you have Nestor and Luis Severino, and then of course Frankie Montas is your five. And when Frankie Montas was first traded to the Yankees, Jack Curry was talking about putting him in as your two or your three, whatever it was. I mean, this is a big, big difference from what that was.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. Obviously, Rodon was the ace of the Giants. Or, yeah, he was the ace of the Giants.
Hmm.
Comes in, he's the second best starter on the Yankees now. That 1-2 punch of Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon, they're, I would say, they're like top 10 pitchers in baseball, arguably.
Yeah.
Oh, they probably are, actually. And to
Hmm.
have that 1-2 punch heading into the postseason, obviously the Yankees have to get there, but
Yeah.
then Severino, Nestor, like you said, those two guys. Nestor was the Yankees ace last year. Like he had the best pitching stats of the Yankees.
Yeah.
And then we know what Severino's potential is. It's unbelievable.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's probably
it
the
is.
best rotation that we've ever seen as Yankees fans.
It has to be. I mean, you have Rodon who could very easily be a ace on any staff. And now,
Probably
and this
most
is,
other.
yeah, definitely most other. And this is something that the Yankees have not had in at least our lifetime. A 1-2 punch like this. This is exactly what the Yankees needed. And I'm not taking anything away from Severino or Nestor, but I mean, you add Rodon to this, you slide Nestor and Luis Severino down, and Frankie Montas is your five. I mean, that's kind of insane
Yeah.
when you truly
And-
sit here and you think about it.
Yeah, and I know that like the past few seasons or basically since 2019 or
Mm,
2009, I'm sorry. Our offense has been like the problem in the postseason, I would
hmm.
say, for majority of the years. Pitching hasn't been too much of a weakness in the postseason for us. But when you have that rotation of those 4 or 5 guys heading into a postseason series where basically all 5 of those guys can be aces on other teams. Like if Montas lives up to his potential or pitches up to his potential, that's an ace on a bunch of other teams.
Hmm. It might be lower ended teams such as the Orioles or the
Yeah.
Athletics of where he was before, but he served as the ace for the Athletics,
Yeah.
especially after Chris Bassett got traded to the Mets. I mean, we've seen what he can do in Oakland. There's no reason why he can't bounce back. I
Yeah,
know he was
no.
having some injury issues, whatever it was. And it's the same with Rodon a little bit with the shoulder. But I mean, I think this move takes so much pressure off of everybody else. I mean, Frankie Montas has no pressure at all anymore. He's your five. And then
Yeah,
you have
he's the
net.
worst starter in this rotation.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly crazy to think about. And then of course you take in the offense, for example, who depending on the moves that we make, we haven't seen what the set lineup's going to be, but it takes a lot of pressure off them because
Mhm.
now you have Cole and Rodon as your 1-2 punch, and past that you have three guys who can give you 7 innings of no hit ball. Legitimately, they can.
Yeah. And
It's
yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm really, really excited for it. But I guess, like, of course, step one of this offseason was to re-sign Judge. That was a
mhm,
no-brainer.
yeah.
Then step two, like you said, pivot to Rodon.
Hmm.
Checks off those two, one and two. Those were the biggest moves that the Yankees needed to make this offseason. And
Yeah.
then the next step now, unless you want to say anything about Rodon, anything else about this rotation, I I don't really have anything else other than I'm thrilled with it, and I'm so excited to actually have a threat, a 1-2 threat that's up there with the best in baseball, if like arguably one of the best in baseball. But
Yeah.
now the third step is to get that outfielder, that left fielder.
Hmm.
Um,
Especially after the news today.
yeah, just an hour or so, hour probably ago, Andrew Benintendi goes to the White Sox, which I was kind of shocked about, but good
Yeah.
for the White Sox, I guess. 5 years, 75 million. Would you have wanted the Yankees to do that?
Um, I like Benintendi. I do. I don't know if New York was the fit for him. I know he enjoyed his time in New York from what the reports say. But the Yankees were not willing to go the fifth year. I think that's what the main issue was. But the money, you can't complain about that. You're getting an all-star caliber outfielder who can give you, I don't know, 15 home runs a year with batting 300, over 300. And he plays not elite, but very solid defense. That's the kind of guy that you do want. But I just feel like the years was a little bit too much for the Yankees to take on. I don't know if I would have been too upset about the years. I'm not
Mhm.
exactly sure how old Andrew Benintendi is. I don't think he's too old.
I don't think
Um,
he's 30 yet. I think he's
I don't.
29.
I mean, personally, if you can't get the Brian Reynolds trade done, then I would have very easily signed Benintendi.
He turns 29 in July.
See, now that kind of makes it a little bit different for me because he's a young player. And
Yeah.
he on that Royals team, he was overshadowed completely just because of playing in Kansas City. But there's a reason why the Yankees traded for him. He's a 300 guy who can give you 10 to 15 home runs a year. That's kind of what you want. But now it does put the Yankees in a predicament because now they have the same team minus Benintendi, but Benintendi was hurt for most of the season,
He
whatever,
played
or
what, 20 games? Yeah.
about, yeah. So, I mean, does Oswaldo take his place there now? But yet again, this is the same team that we're running out. That's the
Yeah.
like like
Offense
we
wise, yeah.
yeah, offensive wise, I mean, yeah, Rodon's a huge signing, but you got to keep it going. You already have what 600 million locked into this offseason. It's
Yeah.
time, you might as well keep going at this point.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean, unless it's a via trade, I mean, it looks like Oswaldo is your starting left fielder at the moment.
Yeah, right now that's what he is. Um, I don't know. Like, obviously the whole Brian Reynolds thing, the Pirates are apparently asking for like the team's three top prospects, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if I would do that. I
I
like Brian
wouldn't.
Reynolds, don't get me wrong, but like like the amount of expectations that we have for Peraza, Volpe, Dominguez. Like what Brian Reynolds has 2 years of control or something like that, I think it is.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
But I don't know about that.
See,
I don't think
that's
I would be happy with it.
I wouldn't be happy with it on a couple of reasons. One, he that's a Juan Soto type trade. Brian Reynolds is a very underrated and good player, but he is not Juan Soto. And the way that I look at it is if you do that trade, right? So you're getting rid of, I mean, it's going to take at least Volpe and Dominguez. Then you're banking on Oswald Peraza to turn into that shortstop that you passed up on all of these guys. Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, Dansby's the only one left. So it kind of worries me because if you get rid of Volpe or Peraza, then you have Trey Sweeney in the farm who you're banking on to be your everyday shortstop. And I don't know if they're up for that. That's Volpe is my guy right now.
Yeah. And then also that would mean like I think Hal Steinbrenner said that he's willing or he's looking forward to Volpe and Peraza being a part of 2023. Like I'm sure
There,
obviously everything could change, but he had said that. So that would probably mean that Donaldson and IKF are still on the roster. I would imagine if those two guys were to leave, Donaldson and IKF would be a part of the team in 2023 for the infield,
oh,
I would imagine.
they would have to be
Yeah.
because as much as we hate on IKF and Donaldson, who are you going to get to replace them? Because there's
I mean,
nobody as on maybe
LeMahieu's
on the
coming.
yeah.
Yeah. LeMahieu and Glaber would be there, but like if you trade away hypothetically Peraza and Volpe, which would be insane, but
Yeah.
um like those guys that were supposed to be the future of our middle infield, they're gone. And
Yeah.
then that means we would have to stick with the guys in the infield that we have now. And I think, yeah, I don't know. I just want to be happy with that. They can't give away that much for Brian Reynolds.
They can, especially when you have a guy like Max Kepler in Minnesota at the moment, who he's not no Brian Reynolds, but he's not bad. And you're not giving up your three top prospects for him. And
It
those
would,
guys out in Arizona too.
mhm. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about Kepler.
Yeah.
Um, we would probably not have to give up like anything for
I
Kepler.
wouldn't,
Like
I mean,
realistically, it might be like Domingo Herman. See you later.
and
Like
I'm not mad about after this Rodon signing.
no, because he's essentially the only role that he would play is like the long relief guy, like he did in the postseason, which he didn't even get used.
Yeah.
But that's the only role that he would have on this team, or the sixth starter in case we needed someone to get called up or move into the rotation with in case of an injury. But
Mm-hmm.
he could go out the door. I don't know. I assume that Minnesota would probably just do that one for one. I don't know exactly if they would.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe him and some low prospect guy, but I don't know.
I don't know either. And it is a very weird situation that the Yankees are in because after signing Rodon, I love that move with Herman in the bullpen. I love it because I don't think he's built up to be a starter, but he can very well turn into a dominant reliever. I could see that very easily and use him as your long relief guy along with Loizaga and the other guys that you have in that pen is Efros. List goes on. But the Yankees do need a left fielder, so if it means getting Max Kepler, who is a very solid player, I feel like he's a little underrated too because playing in Minnesota. But adding him to this team and only giving up Domingo Herman is a whole lot better than giving away your top three prospects who you have been telling this fan base for years now that those are your guys. That's why we skipped out on Turner, Correa, and all the other loaded shortstops on this market at the moment.
Yeah, and I just don't know if like would you like Kepler is obviously the plan lesser what's the word lesser I don't know
Mm-hmm.
lower risk or whatever like
Yeah.
we don't have to give up anything for him. Would
Mm-hmm.
you be okay with say they don't do that, would you be okay with sticking with Oswaldo and left?
I would be, yes, because I love Oswaldo. But the only problem is this is the same team that you had last year.
Yeah,
That's my issue.
right. But do
I
you think
I
Max Kepler is that much of an upgrade over Oswaldo Cabrera in the outfield?
I don't think so, but what I will say is Oswaldo is very, very versatile. Let's
Hmm.
say Donaldson goes down with an injury. You could stick him in third,
Or
and
just
not
give them a
have to.
day off too, like just to give them a
Exactly.
day off.
You know, the whole reason why we brought DJ LeMahieu here is exactly what Oswaldo Cabrera is turning into. Super utility guy who can play anywhere on the field and will give you an amazing amount of production from every single position.
Hmm.
And we can't bank on DJ LeMahieu. He's been having injury issues the last 2 years.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
he's
yeah,
gotten I feel like he's being forgotten about.
he
Like
is.
if he comes back healthy next year, and if he, I don't expect him to hit 330 or whatever he did a couple years ago. But
Yeah.
if he's hitting 290, 280, 290, and being the defensive utility, like great defensive utility guy in the infield that we like want him to be, man, that's a huge upgrade to this team.
It is because we didn't have him. We basically lost him at the second half of the season.
Mhm. And
All
even
through
in
the
the first half, he wasn't
he wasn't what he
DJ.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can get DJ LeMahieu back on track and healthy, I mean, I'd use him as my starting third baseman.
Yeah. I also, there's no way that they go into next season. This is kind of going off track a little bit, but not really.
Mhm.
I don't think that they go into next season with Donaldson, IKF, Volpe, and Peraza all on the team. Like they can't be all on the roster. Someone out of those four, even Glaber, you could throw in there too, because he's been talking about getting traded. I don't think all five of those guys will be on the roster come April 1st. They won't be a Yankee, I'm saying. Like not even in
Mm-mm.
the majors.
No.
One of those guys are going to get moved, at least one.
Yeah.
Whether it be
And
Donaldson for a salary dump. I think they will keep IKF.
I think so too. And I don't hate IKF. I don't. I think he provides value to this team. I think he should be playing third base right now.
Yeah,
He won a gold glove over there in Texas. I mean,
yeah,
he has proven that he can play third base. Go out and
yeah.
get a shortstop or use your young kids who are coming up.
Right.
But the two worries that I have a little bit is one, you're having trouble from the reports, having trouble dumping Hicks and Donaldson because they are shopping both
Which
of
is
them.
expected. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're having trouble, which, like you just said, it's expected because nobody wants to take that on. So, are they going to have to stick a high end prospect along with Donaldson to dump that? I don't know, what is it, $28 million he's making this year?
So, whatever it is, it's too much.
It's
I don't know. Yeah,
ridiculous.
23, something like that, in the 20s.
Yeah. So it just that's a big issue for me. But and also Michael Kay had reported a little bit ago that the Yankees are working on something big. I don't know if that's Rodon. I don't know if that's just bluffing. If that was put out there by the Yankees, I don't know. But if those are true, I can see Gleyber Torres being moved
That
as
would
part of
suck.
that big
I
thing.
would, I would hate it. I would hate to see him go.
I would too, but it depends on what we get back.
That
Because
is true.
okay, because if they talk, I mean, we've been hearing the Marlins attached to Gleyber Torres since last trade deadline. Do we say Pablo Lopez to this already stacked rotation?
But then you would
I don't
have
know.
to get rid of like Montas or something. Like who
Which,
would you
if
get
you're
rid of?
Montas, I mean, if you're replacing him with Pablo Lopez, I would
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah. But like, would he be in that trade too? I guess. Would that
I
how
don't
that?
know.
I don't know how that would work.
I'm not sure,
That
unless
would
that's a
be
separate
nuts.
trade. Yeah, okay. I kind of just got a little trigger happy there with the Marlins, but no, it's
No, I know.
obvious. Yeah, obviously, I do agree with you. One of those five infielders will not be on this team.
At least one.
At least. And I feel like Peraza is the odd man out. I feel like he's going to be moved in a trade.
I wonder how. Okay, I feel like the Yankees do this a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it backfires. Clint Frazier, Andujar, etc. But
Mm-hmm.
they value. Obviously, this is the plan. They
Yeah.
put so much value on their prospects, on their top prospects. Like Florial too. For years, he was the top prospect. He was untouchable. Clint Frazier, untouchable. Of course, that part of it, I don't know if they believe it or part of it is to drive up the price for from the other teams, which it's
Yeah.
probably the second part of that. Um, like how much do you think the Yankees truly value Oswald Peraza? Because for years they've done that.
Hmm.
They've talked up their prospects as if they're the top prospects in baseball.
Yeah.
So like I
For
wonder how much value they actually see in Peraza.
I think they have a whole lot in Volpe. That I truly do believe. I think they believe Volpe will. I don't want to say it just because of how Derek Jeter is. I feel like that is our
The
next guy,
franchise
is what I
shortstop.
there you go. Much better way to put it. I feel like that is what the Yankees front office thinks. And I don't think they are high on Oswald Peraza. I really don't, especially when you have an abundance of shortstops in the farm system. I mean, Oswaldo Cabrera can play shortstop, and you have Trey Sweeney and Roderick Arias, who we signed in last year's international draft. The way I
Mhm.
look at it is, if we can trade Oswald Peraza for a left fielder or a area of need, do it, in my mind. If the price is right, of course. I
Right.
would rather take the for sure thing than any prospect in our farm system right now. Reasonably
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
value.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No.
that's just truly how I feel, because we've seen this movie with the Yankees over and over again. You just explained it, Clint Frazier, all those guys. We could have gotten Garrett Cole a couple years back.
Pirates. Yeah.
Yes, Pirates Garrett Cole, but we said no because we didn't want to add Clint Frazier.
Yeah. But do you agree that like the Yankees it has to be on purpose that they overvalue their prospects. I don't know if it's for them, like they truly believe that they
Mhm.
like think the world of them, or do you think it's for the trade value?
I think
It's
it's
probably
definitely for
trade, right?
trade value. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's Brian Cashman. He loves the
Okay.
trade market.
Because he's like, damn, like this guy's gonna be a superstar, blah blah blah. Like Clint Frazier, for example.
Yeah.
How highly they talked about him. And even Florial too. I feel like not as much as Clint Frazier, but
No.
he's been talked about for years as like not basically the center fielder of the future almost. Um,
Hmm.
that they're like, oh, we gotta hold on to him. We gotta hold on to him. Then other teams will be like, oh, damn, that's their center fielder of the future. I want him.
Yeah. I do want to say this quick. Shout out Joe's McFly Twitter. He had put out that excluding starting pitching, so this takes away Severino, whatever it is. The Yankees have had one superstar position player in I believe it was 17 years, but it could have been a little less, and it's Aaron Judge. These prospects have not worked out. If you can trade them for a for sure thing, then you do it.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on it. We needed a left fielder. Go get one. We have an abundance. Just make Volpe untouchable, and
Hmm.
you still got some decent prospects in there.
At the same position.
Exactly. That's literally my whole
Yeah.
point. You have
Yeah.
Peraza and Sweeney and Arias all at
Yeah.
shortstop.
Yep. So I don't know. It's there's gonna be at least I'm sure probably one or two more trades from the Yankees. They're probably done on the starting pitching side unless, like you said,
I would hope.
they do something crazy with like Marlins Pablo Lopez thing or something like that. But I
Yeah.
don't know. There's gonna be something else, some
There
significant move.
there has to be, right?
And even if it's just Max Kepler, like if that's the outfielder they bring in, they have to get rid of, like we said, one of those outfielders because they're all major league ready talent. And obviously Donaldson is like he's a major league player. I'm saying
He's a
like Volpe,
yeah.
yeah, he's a
Yeah.
major league player. I don't know major league talent, but Volpe and Peraza, they'll start on any other team in the middle infield or
Yeah,
third base. So
easily.
I don't know. It's gonna be. What do you think? Who do you think they get outfield?
I think Max Kepler is the kind of like safe choice, because I don't see them, just because of how you just explained how high they are in their prospects. I don't see a Brian Reynolds trade coming from the Yankees, especially if they're asking for a start of Volpe and Dominguez, or Volpe and Peraza, or Peraza and Dominguez. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, Carlos Rodon is a Yankee. I can't
Yeah,
believe I'm so happy about that.
let's get back to the positives for quick.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Before we
just to wrap this up. Yeah,
as we keep
yeah,
shitting on the team. But Rodon, Judge, the two most important pieces of this offseason so far, nailed it down.
and I am so sorry, Giants fans. Really, I truly am.
Eh,
Well, not
they
for
got
my sake,
Correa.
of
They
course.
got
Yeah,
Correa.
you
They're
got Cray.
okay.
You're good.
They'll
Yeah,
survive. They'll
yeah,
survive. If they didn't get anyone, like we had, I think we said this on off the wall that we felt bad for them. As long as they get another star, they're good.
yeah,
But they got Correa. They got their franchise shortstop. They're good.
yeah. All right. Let's end this one on this quick question. What would you grade the Yankees offseason so far?
So far, I would
Yeah,
like B plus.
that's what I was thinking too. B plus. I like it.
And then see, if they get a Kepler, I don't know if I would do it that. I don't know if I would really go up to an A minus
I
just
agree.
because I'm not huge on him.
hmm
And I don't know how much of an upgrade that would be. But if they make another move or two, free up some salary, Hicks, Donaldson, it could go up to an A minus for sure. But I don't
I
know.
agree.
Brian Cashman might have something crazy up his sleeve. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. And just remember, Carlos Rodon is now a Yankee, sliding in behind Cole.
Go.
What a beautiful world, am I right?
It's
Great time to
amazing.
be a Yankee fan.
Look at Hal Steinbrenner.
I'll give it to him. I'm gonna give him some props this offseason. I will.
Yeah,
I got
look at
to.
him go.
And until the trade market, I ain't giving shit to Cashman. So whatever. All right. Well,
All
that
right,
wraps it up for this one. And we
sounds
will
good.
see you in the next one.
Yes. Peace. See ya.
Later.